Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to discuss another topic from the Sefer that I received a few weeks ago. I talked about it in a different video. It's called Sefer Tivunos HaTorah, which is basically a deeper look and explanations and deeper look and different inyanim about Halacha and Minug regarding Breslov and Rabbi Nachman. So we did a video a few weeks ago about giving tzedakah with either one hand or two hands. It's different things, whatever. If you want to watch the video, it's somewhere on my channel. So this is like a Shailas and Tshuva Sefer, which is like some, there's a question that the author asked, not like from people writing in, and and then he discusses, like, these are basically questions that like come up, regarding certain Breslov things. And then he goes through the whole entire sugya. He goes through all the different things. So we're going to read this one. This is in Siman Lamed Hey in this book. And I do have permission from the author to read this on YouTube. So obviously we're getting closer to Uman Rosh Hashanah. And one of the main questions that people always ask Breslovers, and people, especially Breslovers who live in Israel, is that how are you able to leave Israel to go to Uman for Rosh Hashanah? You're leaving the holiest place in the world to go to Ukraine, which is now in a war, which is even, whatever. And also why? And also the second question that people like to ask is, why would you leave Eretz Yisrael if you have so many Kivrei Tzaddikim there? So he discusses all these things. It doesn't have to be a video about Uman. It's just a video about leaving Eretz Yisrael to pray at Kivrei Tzaddikim. So let's start. Let's see what we could do. So he starts off and he talks about the Isser of leaving Eretz Yisrael. To go to Chutz La'aretz is in the Gemara in many different places, in Bal Basra, in Ksubos, in Gittin, in Kedushin, different Mesechtas, and it is an Isser Derabanan. It's not an Isser Deraisa, it's an Isser Derabanan. It's a rabbinic decree, and the reason for it is because you are now taking yourself out from mitzvahs that are teluyos in the land of Israel, which are certain mitzvahs like Shemitah and stuff like that that are only in the land of Israel. So you're taking yourself out from those mitzvahs, and there's other mitzvahs, Trumas and Maasros, things like that. But those are the mitzvahs that are teluyos ba'aretz. Or another reason is because you are lowering yourself down from a higher level of kedusha and also a higher level of hashgacha that is in the land of Eretz Yisrael. That's a whole different discussion. We're not going to get into that. And he says that there are some people who say today that the Isser is not, we are not noig in this Isser bizman hazeh because there's no Beis HaMikdash, and that's why the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch, they don't really talk about it. But that is a das yachid. But there is a das yachid, which is the Rambam, who what's it called? Who does make a psach like this, and he doesn't bring the psach. He says which parak he says. He says in parak Hey, in Hilchos Malachim, Halacha Tes. I don't know what it says over there. And also he says over there. He also says that in the Torah and Shulchan Aruch it is bought in a different halacha that somebody who comes from outside of Eretz Yisrael on Chol Hamoed to Eretz Yisrael, he is allowed to shave. And it's not that he went out from Eretz Yisrael to Chul. Hold on one second. Somebody who comes from... okay, fine. So he says somebody who comes from outside of Eretz Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael on Chol Hamoed, he's allowed to shave. You're not supposed to shave during Chol Hamoed, and whatever you're supposed to shave before Sukkot, right? We're talking about Chol Hamoed or before Pesach. But we say that since he came from outside of Eretz Yisrael, he is allowed to shave. But also it has to be that he's not going to go from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz because it's usher to go out. So therefore, they wouldn't let him shave if he would do that, right? Sorry, that was a little confusing. But anyway, we see there that it's mentioned that it's not permitted to leave Eretz Yisrael. So let's start talking about things. So first of all, before I want to mention at the beginning of the video that obviously the answer to the main question: is it permitted to leave Eretz Yisrael to go pray at Kivrei Tzaddikim? The answer is yes. So you don't have to watch the rest of the video if you don't want to. You have a lot of poskim to rely on, but we're going to go through this whole entire thing over here. So he says over here, regarding the heter to leave Eretz Yisrael to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim in Chutz La'aretz, this is permitted from many different ways of looking at it, from many different sides. How we are going to explain here. And somebody who doesn't leave Eretz Yisrael to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, that is a huge chumrah. That's what he said. He said it's huge. These are big chumras gedolos. What's it called? But there are some people who say that this person who is machmer, big bracha will come on him, and also people say that there's a lot of Kivrei Tzaddikim in Eretz Yisrael, and maybe he doesn't really lose out because of doing this chumrah. Avol kol zeh lekivrei tzaddikim bichlolius, like in general, just not leaving to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim because you have, in Eretz Yisrael you have Rashi, you have everything like that. Aval, but he says over here, and this is a little bit of Bresla part. He says over here is that to make a chumrah to not leave Eretz Yisrael just for a few days to go to the tzion of Rabbi Nachman in Uman, especially for the days of Rosh Hashanah, he says that he is losing out. Al Yidei Chumras Yiseris, because he's taking on these intense chumras, he's losing out on a lot. Something that cannot even be measured. Okay. So we're going to talk about over here, like I said before, we're going to talk about over here the Isser, the prohibition of leaving Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, and also the time, like we said before, like why do you have to go to Uman? Why do you have to go there? Why do you have to go to Kerestir? Why do you have to go anywhere? Aren't there enough Kivrei Tzaddikim in Eretz Yisrael? Especially for someone like me who lives in Tzfas, I have the Arizal, I have Rashbi 15 minutes away. So I have Nachum Gamzu a few blocks away, buried on a random street. I got everyone here. So why am I going? Why do I want to leave? Okay, so the first thing like this, he says the first heter is, since the leaving of Eretz Yisrael is only just for a few days, and you're gonna and you know that you're gonna be coming back, so for sure it is mutter to go lichachila, and this is written in the Chidushay Marit, and it's also written like this in the Chidushay. And it's also written from his other Chidushim, Masechtas Kiddushin, and it's also mashma be'iyun Yaakov on Ksubois that Ula, it says Ula from the Gemara, he was also ragil to leave from Eretz Yisrael to Babel and to go back. Okay, and also this is interesting over here. I read this when I was going through this true the first time. He says that over here. He says, and it also says in the Sefer Toiva Aretz from the Mekubal Rabbi Nassan Shapira, that somebody who leaves from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz to live, when he leaves Eretz Yisrael, his soul is from the world of Yitzira. The soul that he has from the world of Yitzira leaves him, and a soul from the world of Asiya, which is a lower level, this is already in Kabbalah, enters him. Fine. But when he leaves Eretz Yisrael, on condition that he's going to come back, like when you go to Uman Rosh Hashanah, you're going for a week, right? So it's then the soul does not leave. The soul from the world of Yitzira stays in you, and then a different soul comes in you from the Olam Hasiya, and this is very good for you. Okay. And it's also written in the Sefer Gilyonei Hashas, from the Goyen Rav Yosef Engel, who happens to be like my great uncle or something, to be the Beyitzia Amenas Lashuv. He's allowed to do that. What's it called? And he says over here, Kivin Dedaita Lashuv Eretz Yisrael Macham HaKodesh L'chein HaChul Shehu Chol Nigrar Acher HaKodesh. The Chutz La'aretz that he's in goes after the kedusha, and it's not even considered that he left Eretz Yisrael when he's in Chul. It says V'gam b'Chul choshuv ki'ilu hu be'eretz Yisrael. L'chein ein isur l'tzeis amanas lachzer. Whoa, that's crazy over here. He says this. So Rav Yosef Engel says that when you leave Eretz Yisrael and you know that you're coming back, it's like you didn't even really leave Eretz Yisrael, and when you're in Chul, it's like you're ki'ilu in Eretz Yisrael. So when we go to Uman, you're good. And he says over here, Lemaisa, and regarding other things, just stam, like leaving without going to Kivrei Tzaddikim, that's a whole other discussion. But Lemaisa, the Posek Hador, the Baal Shevet Halevi, he says that the psak of the Rambam is that when you go to live in Eretz Yisrael permanently. But if you're going if you're going and then you know that you're going to be coming back, Rak Shaloi L'Tzoyer Chlal Aser, Al B'Tzoyer Kol Duhu Lo Gazu. Right? If there's no reason for you to go, then don't go. But if you have a tzayrich, then it's fine. But so now they ask, is a tiyul, like just to see mountains or whatever, is that considered a tzayrich? He says that he says basically in any case, if you're going to see, you're going out for a week to see some wonders of the nature, or the mountains, or the Alps, or whatever, so then there is makom to be mekel. The Gam also, it says in Shalos and Shuvas Mishnas Yosef. He goes through it to find the words to go through this whole thing. Whatever. Okay, fine. So we see that going to Kivrei Tzaddikim is mutter l'chachila according to the Divrei Marit. He brings a bunch of other poskim here later. And even to go out just to see, and even to go out from Eretz Yisrael, it basically seems that everybody holds that you can go out as long as you know that you're coming back. Leaving Eretz Yisrael to go live is a different situation. That you would have to ask a Rav or whatever like that. But I'm saying to go to Uman or to go to the Kivrei Tzaddikim in a different country, and he's going to bring later on a whole discussion over here from Rav Chaim Kanievsky and some other things. So it's not just Hasidic stuff; it's also Litvish stuff and everything like that. So now he just summarizes over here. He says according to the Marit, according to the Ian Yaakov, the Tova Aretz, the Gilyoni Hashas, the Shevet Halevi, Mishnas Yosef, there's no problem here at all. Since you are going out for a few days to come back, the Kol Tzoyrich Kol Duhu Mutter. For any need to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, to go visit someone, to go this, it's a mutter. And that's what's written, and what the Rambam writes, that it's mutter to only go out for Talmud Torah and to marry a woman and for business. Hainu kishidate lehishtake b'chul. Aval adas lachzer mutter l'chol tzarech. Fine. So we see already that this is, already at this point, if you want to, you already have the answer. You're allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, because you're just going for a few days and you know that you're coming back. Now, he says over here, before we go and bring more poskim who talk about, beferish, clearly, about the Indian of leaving Eretz Yisrael to go to Chutz La'aretz, to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, and the reasons for their heter, we're going to just talk about a little bit of this Taina Shnia, the second claim that these people talk about to anybody who lives in Eretz Yisrael and leaves to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, to go to Kerestir, to go to Uman, or to go to the Baal Shem Tov, or anywhere. Right? Why should we go out to leave Eretz Yisrael to go be mechapes Kivrei Tzaddikim b'chutz la'aretz? He says over here in Eretz Yisrael, we have the makom. First of all, we have the next to the base midrash, we have the kaisel, we have the Avos HaKadoshim, we have the Imayis HaKadoshim in Chevron, we have Kevarach, Yisrael Tzaddik, Nevi'im, Tanoim, Hamroim, Rashbi, Tiveria, Tzfas, Miron, everything, right? So what are you going? Where are you running to? So So first of all, he brings two reasons here, just stam in klalius of Kivrei Tzaddikim, and later on in the whole tshuva, he's going to talk about dafka, talking about going to Uman specifically. But the first two reasons that he brings, why would you leave Eretz Yisrael to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim? He says, "Koisev the heter hu the Kivrei Tzaddikim shayadav b'chayiv." So he said like this. Basically, he said that somebody who, let's say he doesn't really connect. Okay, so it's nice that he could go to Hebron and daven by Adam Harishon's kever, or he can go to Nachum Mishkam's, whatever here in Tzfat. But he's saying that this sefer, which is called Ohelecha Ba'amitecha, I don't know who it's from. He says that somebody who's connected to a certain tzaddik, when they go to that tzaddik, it's a huge thing for them. Right? I'm saying if you are connected to the tzaddik of Kerestir, like I read the book about the Kerestir, about Rav Shaila, just like a few months ago, and I got this really big historis to go to Kerestir. I did not make it there yet. I had a plan, it didn't work out at the end, but I got like this whole thing. I wanted to go there. It's not like I'm going to Kerestir just to see Kerestir. I'm going to Kerestir because I want to connect with the tzaddik that moved me very, very deeply. So I think he's saying that some people they go to tzaddikim, the ones that help them the most in their service of Hashem, right? We see that big rebbes and big Rosh Yeshivas leave Eretz Yisrael all the time to go daven at their grandfather's kever in Poland, or this one in Lithuania, or this, and then they have these kupat tzedakos to go to the Chavetz Chaim and all these things. So he says that's one reason, and he brings down a sefer Chaye Moshe. He says that Moisif Sheyesh Bazeh. He says that by us going to Kivrei Tzaddikim all over the world, I mean, most of the Kivrei Tzaddikim are really in Poland, Ukraine, in that area, in Europe that people go to, Russia. We protect these Kivrei Tzaddikim, right? If nobody went to all these Kivrei Tzaddikim, then they would just be destroyed, right? Imagine if we didn't go to Uman. Imagine if we didn't go to the Baal Shem Tov. Imagine what would happen now if we didn't go there. They wouldn't be there anymore. They would just build roads over them. They just build everything. So by us going there and showing that we're going to keep going there and we're going to go there, we protect all these Kivrei Tzaddikim. We protect all the Jewish cemeteries in different European countries, everything like that. Okay, so now, fine. He says now we're going to bring all the poskim that talk beferish from this question, and the main question, like we said, is leaving Eretz Yisrael okay to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, and they're the ones who permit it. So he says, okay, so we're just going to read this list pretty fast. It says over here. Okay, so Sidei Haaretz, mutter, it's mutter to do this kivon because he's going to come back. Ein Isra Klal, and it might even be a mitzvah. The Pri Haaretz, so it's also mutter to leave Eretz Yisrael because it's mutter for him to come back. I mean, because he's going to come back right away. The Stei Chemed agrees with the Stei Haaretz, but he's mazir on Betel Torah. Don't be mivat Torah when you leave to go on these trips to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim. Birchei Yosef, Shari Leilech Adai Telach, so you're allowed to go as long as you know you're coming back. Shari Tshuva is also canal, just like that. V'chein huva leheter b'poiskei zmanim. Shalos and Tshuva Shevet Halevi, Shalos and Tshuva Mishras Yosef, Sefer Nachas Hashem, Mishnah Brura, Sefer Olam Amitecha, Shalos and Tshuva Ataris Paz, Shalos and Tshuva Avnei Yishbe, Nitei Gavriel, Sefer Kanfei Ruach, Sefer Zichron Yaakov. So you have a lot of poskim, not just me. You have a lot of poskim who say they are allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael to go daven at Kivrei Tzaddikim. Okay. Sefer Nezer Achaim Shuva Kuf Pei Beis Kasav B'Shem HaGoyin Rav Chaim Kanievsky, that to go out from Chul to Kivrei Tzaddikim is a weak heter, is a heter kalush. I think that's what it means, kalush. I'm not sure if it means weak or it's like a... I'm not sure. But Okay. So now he brings over here in this footnote Bays about Rav Chaim Kanievsky that it says in the year Tavshinai Hey they had the Kupat Ha'ir, right? In Israel you see the Kupat Ha'ir, the collecting money, whatever, of Bnei Brak, that there was a bunch of big Litvish Gedolim who were going to go out on Chaf Daled El, like a week before Hashanah, to Vilna to go daven on the to go daven at the Vilna Goyen's cave, I believe, probably if they're going to Vilna, right? And it talks about over here who was on this trip. They were going to different Kivrei Tzaddikim, to the Or Samer, to the Chavetz Chaim in Radin, to the Beis Halevi in Brisk, to Rav Shimon Shkop in Grodnoy, and probably also to the Vilna Goyen, I would imagine, but okay, whatever. And it says over here that Rav Chaim Kanievsky requested that the Goyen Agadol Rav Yitzchak Shiner Shlita, the Goyen Agadol Rav Ari Finkel Shlita from the Mir, the Goyen Agadol HaMashkiach Rav Doiv Yafish Shlita from Kfar Chassidim, the Goyen Agadol Rav Baruch Mordechai Ezrachi Shlita Mei Ateres, who is not doing well, he needs to refuah Shlema, please Hashem. Hagoyen Agadol Rav Baruch Doiv Pavarsky Shlita Ipanovich, Hagoyen Agadol Rav Moshe Yehuda Schlesinger Shlita Mikol Toira, and Hagoyen Agadol Rav Shmuel Yaakov Borstein Shlita Vashivas Keres Melcha, and Hagoyen Agadol Rav Mordechai Groi Shlita Gaibet Chaniki Yiz Void Moran. He wanted all of them to go. Okay? All these guys, Rav Chaim Kanievsky wanted these guys to go leave Eretz Yisrael and to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim. Right? And they asked, whatever, he's going through a whole thing, but they basically asked from Rav Chaim Kanievsky, like, we have to mishir him, we have to do this. And Rav Chaim Kanievsky said that this whole journey, thousands of families are relying on this journey, because you're going to go and you're going to raise money and whatever, so they're all going to have food and they're going to have things. So he said it's important to go. This nasiya kazu is doicha hakol, pushes everything aside. He said, go and do what you need to do. And he also says over here that Rav Ari Finkel, who was very weak, that even from Kirat Sefer, he didn't even say a shir because he was so weak. And he asked Rav Chaim Kanievsky, how could I go to Vilna? And Rav Chaim Kanievsky said to him, the nasiya to Vilna is doicha hakol. Sounds like Uman vibes, you know what I'm saying? And Rav Doiv Yafa said, my whole life I never left Eretz Yisrael. I never thought I would. There's a very, very big Indian to spend one whole life in Eretz Yisrael. But when there is a possibility that I was able to go before Rosh Hashanah to these Kivrei Tzaddikim, heter Alam Yisrael, and to bring in tzedakah and zechuyos for Klal Yisrael, so it's very, very possible for this to be the freitas together to like break this rule that I had. V'chein hevi Sham and Rav Yisrael Yo Weintraub, who also was part of this journey, who said b'shem the Goyen of Vilna. The Vilna Goyen said that from the time that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, the Shechina is shoira Kivrei Tzaddikim. The Shechina rests in Kivrei Tzaddikim. Anyway, so from here, what do we see? We see from over here that, according to Rav Chaim Kanievsky and all these other big Gedolim and Rosh Hashivas, that there was an important enough reason to leave Eretz Yisrael, to go to these Kivrei Gedolei Lita, and to help out everybody and all these Jews. So we see that it's mutter to go to Kivrei Tzaddikim. So now, from all this, what do we learn? We learn that it's mutter lichachila shebelichachila, to leave Eretz Yisrael, to go to the Tzion HaKadosh of Rabbeinu, Uman, even during the year, especially for the days of Rosh Hashanah, Be'ezer Hashem, we're all going to make it. The Chol HaDeos. Because Rabbi Nachman already promised, and he took 2 Eidim, that when he passes away, that when you go into his kever and you give a pruta to tzedakah, and you say Tikkun Klali, the 10 capitals of Tehillim, so then he'll do whatever he can, and he'll help a person, and he'll pull you out of Gehenna by your pace. And the 2 Eidim were, this is all we know all this information, but I'm saying, it's just interesting that they're bringing it here. The 2 Eidim were Moireinu Rabbi Aaron, who was the Rav of the city of Breslov, and Moireinu Rabbi Naftali. Zecher Tzaddik for both of them. He didn't even promise, he also swore. That already a person who becomes a Breslover and already attached to Rabbi Nachman already starts doing tshuva. They decide that he shouldn't even have to go to Gehenna. And besides, for this Haftacha of Rabbeinu, talking about Tikkun Klali and all these things, let me just take a drink. Made a bracha before. Oh, it's really hot outside. It's like 100 degrees outside here in Israel now. Thank you, Hashem. V'chutz me'havtacha hanal diber Rabbeinu HaKadosh harbe sheretzono sheyavoy al Kivrei Kodesh. Rabbi Nachman also spoke many times that he wants to come on his kever, and therefore his kever is not like other Kivrei Tzaddikim, even the great ones, especially for people who go in his way, especially Breslov Chassidim. And according to Rav Shmuel Horowitz, who said, "Be'inyan im mutter l'tzeis me'eretz Yisrael tziyonei HaKadosh, bevadei mutter l'tzeis l'devar mitzvah kazu she'en kaman." And he calls it a mitzvah. Sorry. Alright, so that's basically what, that's pretty much what we see. And the last thing, we see that it's completely mutter to leave Eretz Yisrael to Kivrei Tzaddikim. The Vilna Goyen says that the Shechina is resting on Kivrei Tzaddikim. Rabbi Nachman talks about coming to his kever. We have many different poskim, from Litvish to Hasidic poskim, who say it's okay to go. But there's absolutely no reason that anybody should have any tainas on anybody leaving Eretz Yisrael to go daven at Kivrei Tzaddikim. And the rest of this tshuva, he goes through a little bit more about why, more to be mechazik the Indian of leaving Eretz Yisrael to go daven, in Uman especially. And maybe we'll talk about in a different video, because this video is already long. But basically, I hope that this video is cool and people like it, and I hope that we're going to all go to Uman, Be'ezer Hashem this year for Rosh Hashanah, that the war in Ukraine should be over, so we don't have to sit on a train or on a bus or in a car for 20 hours. But let's keep praying that everyone is safe and that the Rosh Hashanah kibbutz will happen, Be'ezer Hashem Kudish.